Hi there, second graders. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. We are on Module 6, Lesson 8, and our objective is to create arrays using square tiles with gaps. If you're going to work along with me using manipulatives, don't worry about having square tiles. Any manipulative you have to move around and create different arrays will work. We are going to start with a total of 10 manipulatives. So if you have some counters in front of you, go ahead and count out 10. My 10 are all mixed up right now. They're not in an array. There's no rows or columns. I'm going to move them to make an array that shows 2 rows of 5. So if you're working along with me, go ahead and move yours to show 2 rows of 5. Okay, now I have an array. I can clearly see my 2 rows, and I can see that each row has 5 counters in it. I have a series of questions here that I'm going to answer by looking at the array I made. So the first question, question A, is a statement saying there are blank squares in each row. So I'm going to look at a row, and I'm going to count how many squares are in that row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that there are 5 squares in each row. And if I'm going to count up all of the tiles in the entire array by looking at the rows, my repeated addition sentence would be 5 in the first row plus 5 in the second row for a total of 10. Yesterday we were working on looking at arrays in different ways. First looking at it in the amount of rows it has, and second looking at the amount of columns it has. So now that we've looked at this array with the number of rows, we're going to switch our thinking and look at the same array, but look at the number of columns. So part C is a statement saying there are blank squares in each column. So now I'm thinking up and down in my columns, and I can see that each column has 2 squares. So there are 2 squares in each column. And if I wanted to write a repeated addition sentence to find the total by looking at the columns, there's 2 in the first column, plus 2 in the second column, plus 2 in the third column, plus 2 in the fourth column, plus 2 in the fifth column, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, for a total of 10 counters. Now I know this makes sense because I didn't change my array. I didn't add any counters or take any away. So whether I'm looking at the rows or I'm looking at the columns, I know that the total number of counters is going to stay the same. Go ahead and clear off your workspace as I clear off mine, and we'll get ready for our word problem. Our word problem today says Finlee has 16 blocks in her room. She wants to build equal towers with 5 blocks each. I'm going to stop here because there's some important information I don't want to miss. First, I know the total number of blocks that Finlee has. She has 16 blocks. The other piece of information that I know is that she wants to build equal towers. And we know equal is one of those math words that means the same. Each tower will have the same amount of blocks in it. And she wants to have 5 blocks in each tower. Now I'm ready to move on to A, B, and C. Part A, draw a picture of Finlee's towers. The first thing I want to do is make sure I have the 16 blocks that Finlee has when she starts. Right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to add 6 more. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay? When I think of towers, I think of columns because towers are tall. They go up and down. So I'm going to create my arrangement into columns. And I know that Finlee wants 5 blocks in each tower. So I'm going to make my first tower or column of 5. And I can make a second tower or column of 5. And I can move on to a third column or tower of 5. And now I have a leftover one. So I've completed part A. I drew a picture of Finley's towers. Part B says, how many towers can Finley make? Well, looking at my arrangement, I can separate it into the columns I see. I can see one tower or column there, one tower there, and one tower there. Now, she was able to get started on this one, but she didn't have all 5 that she needed to finish it, so I can't include it as a finished tower. So for part B, Finley has 3 towers. Part C is asking, how many more blocks does Finley need to make equal towers of 5? So Finley was able to start on her 4th tower or her 4th column, but she didn't have enough to finish. So how many more does she need to finish up that tower? I'm going to go ahead and fill in with X's for the blocks that Finley would need. 1, 2, 3, 4. She already had 1 for 5, and that would be her total tower of 5. My sentence for part C would be, Finley would need 4 more blocks. Thanks for checking in for Module 6, Lesson 8. Come back tomorrow for Module 6, Lesson 9. I'll see you there. Bye!